How's it going? And happy Wednesday, everyone. We've got a fun one tonight. A very special guest, Mr. Bob Book with the Film and Whiskey podcast is joining us. We've got John, we've got Joe, and we've got Lee. Gentlemen, it's good to see you all again, and it's been a while.
Yeah, happy holidays, guys.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yes. Guys, thanks so much for having me. This is fun.
Thanks for being here, Bob. Appreciate it. We got a pretty killer pick tonight, and special guest, Bob. Tonight, you were able to pick this, right? You and Lee together joined forces and picked this monster single barrel. Lee had sent me a sample of this a while back, kind of right after you guys initially picked it, I guess, or we're at the distillery. And then one more sample of the same barrel came, so I got to enjoy this twice before the barrel was officially approved and the bottle was sent to the house. And since I got it at the house a few days ago, I've been enjoying it since. So anybody else? I think only Joe. Maybe you might be the only one that has it, right?
I just cracked it tonight.
Oh, nice.
So I wanted to wait. And see. Caden's been hyping it up, so I'm going to wait.
Well, and for context, I think this is Bob's fresh crack. So first time tasting it since the selection. This is now my second bottle, but only because, John, this is not because I drank the last one. It's because the other one's in Texas. And I thought I was going to be in Texas for this webcast, but I'm right here in California still, and I had to get me a second bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, me.
just flexing your ability to get a second bottle. That's
Dude,
all this is, man.
I was like, corporate card,
Classic.
done.
Classic.
This thing's got such a great color to it too. And I'm reading the bottle, so it's an 8-year pick. TYM. I don't know if I'm familiar with the -M. I don't know if I've seen that before, or at least I don't think it's a common one. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Or while y'all were there, walk us through it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a Tyrone M. Rickhouse pick, fourth floor. I mean, this is that classic location actually for the most recent Russell's Reserve single barrel selection. So I think really the last 3 years, you're really getting your single barrel Russells out of 3 different warehouses. This is one of those 3. And so really focusing in, and I don't know, it just seems like they're kind of locked in on this is where the goodness happens. And so they've been really focused on 3 warehouses for the single barrel program. I will say though, if you do your research, because I always try to look back, Tyrone had some really buggy feedback, way back when. And I don't know what they solved. Maybe they started going up in the ricks or what, but after they worked out the bugs, when this came out, I think this program started in 2016. Once this program really got rolling, they figured some things out, and it's been nailing it ever since.
Yeah, so Wild Turkey rotates which warehouses they're going to pull their selections from for the program. So through the course of, we could call it a season, they'll choose from a certain number of warehouses, whether it's 1 to 3. And, they've got a ton of different warehouses spread across their campus. And this happens to be the season from picking from Tyrone, and specifically from the Tyrone warehouses, the M warehouse, which Redbird 101, David Jennings, Wild Turkey author and blogger, reviewer, great guy, has more information on this than you could ever want. He is quite literally written the book on Wild Turkey. I probably have it here behind me. Multiple books at this point, but he dives deep into these and compares one warehouse to the next and the different notes that he catches from each. So when certain ones are up in rotation for the single barrel program, they've got the right number of barrels at the right age. They start doing the selections there, and it's cool that this one landed here. Actually, one of his fairly prominent picks that he did was called what was it, Anderson? Jeez, I'm gonna get it wrong. I freaking designed the label for it too. It was Anderson County, so it's like a throwback of an old label. Was a Tyrone M, and it was a really, really good pick. I really liked it, so it was cool to see this program get something so similar in terms of where it was stored, and get to compare those two together. I wish I had grabbed that bottle and done a little side by side. Anyway, Wild Turkey likes to shuffle it about, and here we are, finally getting Kanan to be a Wild Turkey fan. I love it.
Yay, we did it.
We finally did it, boys.
It happened. It happened. Because I don't know if there's anyone on here that might not know, but I definitely did not start my whiskey journey out as a Wild Turkey fan, which is crazy. Baffled a ton of people. But yeah, I really love this bottle in particular. And this one gives me a note that I'm curious, John. I was really looking forward to this night, so you and I could chit-chat it up about some tasting notes.
Can't wait.
This one's got a tasting note on it, though, that I've never gotten from Wild Turkey, and I find it so interesting. It gives me the classic quintessential Wild Turkey notes, but there's a little something extra on the back end that I like.
Are you going nose, or are you going to wait until the palate? Because
No, I did taste. So it's actually a cocoa, like on the very, very back. It's a little bit chocolatey, and I don't know if that little bit of malt that's in there is poking through. But to me, it's just a little bit of like cherry on the beginning, like typical Wild Turkey, a little bit of that dusty. Compare it to like how a library smells, like that kind of dusty note.
Funky.
And then on the back end, that funk. And then on the back end, chocolate, a little bit. It's nice, like cocoa.
Yeah, what other notes are you guys getting on the nose? Because I kind of like every time I sniff this, it goes in a different direction. Having a new bottle, like I do think I need to let this thing breathe just a little bit, because some of my notes are like just cracking it and then letting it sit for a little bit are very different, actually.
Yeah, and this is one of the things I like about Russell's picks too, as opposed to something like a rare breed. So like, rare breed comes in at what, 116, I believe, and this bottle is 110, but it drinks so much hotter and more robust than a 110. So like, I definitely had to let this thing cool off a little bit in the glass. Lee, you've written some really good nosing notes on this. But the one for me that just kind of overrides everything else is that this is like a cinnamon stick bomb.
Yeah.
And we've already got a couple notes of cocoa on this. Like my mind is immediately going to like a Mexican hot chocolate. Like it's just
fun.
all those notes are here for me. It may just be because it's December and I'm cold all the time now. But like this is a really good winter whiskey for me.
Yeah.
No, that checks out. I definitely get this like awesome candy ginger background. There's herbal tea in there. There's the turkey, like classic turkey funk. You get the cool, like a little bit of dark fruit right up front. And then it just really it walks you through the entire flavor wheel here, where you get spice, you get a great finish. That difference in proof that you mentioned, Bob, you get that non-chill filtered, a little bit heavier mouthfeel on the Russell's picks than you would on like a rare breed. Granted, you can get rare breed that's non-chill filtered now, but it's, that's not really a common thing. Whereas with the Russell's line, that's what you're going to get. So you could expect that full experience. It's just a little bit more body to it, and I love that.
Yeah. So I might be the outlier here. So Bob, I got the cinnamon for sure. I got the cinnamon. On the nose, though, I got like a honeydew melon, which is so strange. But like, I don't know what I keep smelling. Like you guys have probably watched me just got my nose deep in this thing, and I keep smelling that for some reason. I don't know why.
No, there is something fruity in this, and I can't put my thumb on. The first sip I had, I thought it was like prickly pear or like even something that is like borderline tropical, and I couldn't nail it down. And I still haven't yet. It's like it keeps making me think it's peach rings or watermelon candies.
Right, something.
Or there is a wild background of fruit here that I can't put my thumb on.
Yeah.
Well, and I think a part of that is a little bit of that funkiness playing with the like those like fruit essence profiles, right? Like the funk kind of throws it. I love that you said like the O's, right? Like the peach O, there's that some good candy, but there's almost like, when that candy's been like sitting on that rack for a little bit too long, and you open it up and it has almost that funk as well. Like it's like this is a little bit dated candy. It's kind of like that, like
dated candy in a really good way.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We don't abide by expiration dates on our candy in this household. So I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Yeah, I think, you said that it kind of takes you all the way around the flavor wheel. And I think that's a good way to put it for me, especially as we move into the palate, because this definitely takes on a lot more herbal character to me towards the back end.
Totally.
You mentioned like black tea or herbal tea. I get a ton of tobacco on this. I get a lot of leather on this. And I think the interplay of that with those sort of classic bourbon notes is kind of creating that like tart layer that I'm getting with the peach ring kind of a thing. I think you're right. I can't quite put my finger on like what is this fruity flavor, and I can't tell if it's just a byproduct of those kind of like more herbal notes creating that tartness at the back of my palate. But dang, like it really is a walk all the way around the flavor wheel here.
Yeah,
So good.
I call
Intense
this one. I
pour.
know we've had a couple of them in the past, but I call these like the roller coaster pours, where they're just
Mhm.
nonstop changing. I love when I get like those roller coaster pours. And also, real quick too, before we even move on a little bit, Bob, about the Film and Whiskey podcast, could you tell us a little bit about what you guys do on there?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's me and my co-host slash best friend, Brad G. We've been doing this podcast for, almost 7 years now. We're in season 10 of the show. And so it started because I'm a huge movie nerd and I wanted to get my best friend to watch movies with me. And so we were like, we might as well start a podcast out of it. But the impetus was like, I made a list of movies that I'm like, Brad, you got to see these movies before you die. And so it was him seeing almost all these classic movies for the first time. And we started the show when we were both in Kentucky for grad school. And so we were both getting introduced to the world of bourbon at that time and whiskey more broadly. And so it was really about the journey of discovery. It's like, how do we learn about whiskey together? How do we learn about how to watch a movie together? And it's been cool to go from novices in both of those fields to now having 400 or 500 episodes under our belt. It's like, I trust my palate enough now that when I tag along with Lee on a barrel pick, I'm like, okay, I think I understand what I'm getting in this class now.
Yeah, definitely doing it that much. So, and then the basis of the show, like, y'all normally watch films before, talk about it over a glass of bourbon. Is that kind of how it goes?
Yeah. So it's like we'll do 20-25 minutes at the front of the show, just kind of like laying the groundwork for here's the movie we watched, here's stuff about the performances. We'll break in the middle and do a full whiskey review, and then we'll come, to the back end and give kind of like more spicy takes because now we've got a little bit of alcohol in us, and I think the opinions flow a little more freely at that point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It goes pretty nicely towards the back end.
That's a great idea.
And they have some really nice cutouts, like Brad explained. So his buddy Brad will do like a 1 minute. This is my summation of the film. And sometimes it's completely all over the place. Sometimes it's like nails it, but like, those can be really fun. And then towards the end, Brad tries to stump Bob with movie trivia from that film. So unrelated to what they talked about, getting into like two truths and a lie, basically. And figuring out which one is that lie in that.
Oh, that's cool.
In that series.
Yeah, it's a fun time. The nice thing about it is like, Brad doesn't have a history of knowing about Hollywood or like what movies are considered like the sacred cows. So it's very much, I don't, that Family Guy episode where Peter says like, I did not like The Godfather. It insists upon itself. It's very much like that. Like he'll come in sometimes and just be like, The Wizard of Oz is a crappy movie and I was bored out of my mind. And you're like, I've never heard anyone say that, but now I guess we got to spend an hour dissecting like why this classic movie did not work for you.
Yeah, let's unpack that.
Yeah. he brings on a therapist and
for real.
Yeah,
Get the couch.
Yeah, definitely.
And going back to the pick, whenever y'all, so this is an 8-year. Did y'all taste specifically just 8-year barrels while y'all were there?
No. So one of the things that I try to do with all selections is keep ourselves as blind to age and proof as possible. Now, if there are different mash bills, which there have been before, which I don't know why a brand would do that to people, then I do ask for what the different mash bills are because it just starts getting confused. But as far as proof and age, like let me know those things last.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, if there is a tie, which there was not in this experience, we took a really long time with it and mulled over it for a really long time, which was great. And we did start getting into the details of proof and age. But, if there's a really close tie, that's when you want to use those things as a tiebreaker versus an influencer from the beginning. Like you don't want, hopefully everybody out there agrees too. Like I would rather have an incredible tasting 8-year than a really ho-hum 10-year. Yep. And I know that you can you have a 10-year Russells and all that stuff. We've had one before. They were great. But like if we can pick something that's spectacular, but we find out that it's an 8 versus a 10, man, it's fine. But if we have a tie in dynamic, okay, let's get down to brass tacks and talk about like what that barrel is.
Yeah.
Sure. And for Russell's too, where you know it's going to be proof to 110, I am much more likely to be biased toward the proof of the barrel than
Yep.
I am the age. Because if you have something that you love, but it's 129, you know that there's a lot of water going into that to get to 110. If there's a contender there that's sitting at a 119 or a 120, you might be talking about a wildly different thing. So being able to add those drops of water like you can in the warehouse
Yeah.
and try that down as close to the bottling proof as you can, I think that matters far more than the age. Like if this is going to be barrel proof, let's just go by whatever's the best, right? Who cares
Sure.
at that point? Because we're not going to mess with it. But when we know this has to be diluted, I think it's really important to keep that context in mind and not get hung up on something like, well, this is 8 years or this is 10 years. Like, which one tastes the best? And let's stick with that and make sure that we get it as close as we can to how it's going to be bottled.
Well, and Bob, how scientific was that water process?
There was some great eyeballing there of like, yeah, it looks like it's about 110 now. We're good.
Yeah, close enough.
But I do think it's really important to your point, John. Like, you know, I've done barrel picks before where you really have to keep the audience of who's drinking it in mind. I've done barrel picks just for businesses before where I know that they're giving it out for like a Christmas party and everybody that's getting a bottle is going to drink it on the rocks. And I remember we did one barrel pick at a distillery where we asked them to bring ice in so we could try it on the rocks, because you're not only diluting it at that point, but the temperature change is going to affect the flavor, you know, the palate on that. So like you really do have to keep these things in mind. It might be amazing at like hazmat. And when you bring it all the way down to 110, it's going to be a completely different sort of bouquet of flavors on your palate.
Well,
Sure,
and
a whole different product.
And we had to do that, I mean, to the maximum when we had the Wild Turkey 101 single barrel rye, right? Like we were tasting, like to John's point, like 129 proof rye and having to eyeball down to 101.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is like a hope and a lot of prayers, right? Like we really hope that we got that right. And we did. It's great. I mean, it's a fantastic pick. This one's at least a little bit easier for us because a lot of times you're going from somewhere around 118 to like 123, maybe 125. And so it's a little bit easier, but I mean, that mark is tough.
I love that though. Like I think that there's a testament to that for Wild Turkey to continue to like, hey, it's not going to be a perfect science. Like this is how it just, I think for the brand, it's just like, this is how we're going to release this product. We want our picks to have that. I do love just that background. Like Bob, when you said that, I'm like, that is so cool. Like,
yeah.
And it's such a beautiful, like no frills, like just get out to the warehouse and enjoy your time with your friends and argue as much as you want and spill some water and whiskey and like pick a great barrel, right? Like, I think, you know, it's the most stripped down really whiskey selection process I've experienced, where you're just like, let's walk to the rick house. All right, let's go. And you're just like,
yeah,
oh, that's it. Okay, let's do it.
Well,
Game on.
Well, and Lee, I don't know if you've had this experience, but like obviously age was not a choice in why we picked this barrel, but having now seen what the age is after we picked it, I have to give a lot of credit to the team at Turkey because, you know, as whiskey production has really ramped up these last few years, there's a lot of distilleries now that are trying to kind of pass off stuff that's just turned 4 years into their single barrel program. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like there are amazing 4-year barrels out there, but for them to consistently still be putting out their 8-year, 10-year product for these picks, like it really is a cut above in terms of the level of complexity that you get on the palate here. And I appreciate that they do that for us.
Yeah, I think they really foster, I mean, a community around their single barrel picks, and they understand that they don't want to stray too far from the mark. And I also think that's when you start hurting or diminishing that Wild Turkey brand, when you start putting out product where people are like, wow, I mean, I got a pick, but I'm not excited about it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Well, I don't know. I got to say, Lee, if this is what Bob is helping pick right here, he's coming with you at all. I mean,
all right,
it is.
That's it.
This is delicious. Like you know, and with these, like you get I always think these have such a big variety in flavors. This to me and Kanan, you were right. Once again, like this is just like he and I have a very similar palate. Like this is going to be a problem. Like, this is so good. It's the proof, the flavors, the viscosity on it, the nose. Like, that's why I literally just keep going. I could give me a candle of this. Like, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and
This one's sticky too. It's tacky.
Yeah.
Oh my
like,
God.
it's sticking
It is
to my
sticky.
palate. Yeah.
And going back to what Bob said, this punches way above its weight class, right? So like if you poured this for me, I would not think this is 110. I actually think this is way hotter and way more mouthfeel than a typical like 110. Clearly I've been drinking too much because now that I say that 110 is like, this is more than that. But I do think that they've just done something so well with this pick, with these picks, because we had such a tough time with all of the other barrels there. So
Yeah.
to get here and then to finally taste this one, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And for the viewers, like, how is it tasting at cask strength compared to, because for the average consumer, we've known, me personally, even I've never gone and experienced a Russell's or Wild Turkey pick. So I've only ever had what's offered to me at the stores and on the shelf at the proof point that it's at. You've had the opportunity to taste it at that cask strength. Is it really that much of a difference? Like, what do you think?
I was going to let Bob go first.
the fun every distillery is different, and their experience is designed to be different. And to Lee's point, this is a really cool distillery because it is so purposely kind of lo-fi. Like, it feels like you're stepping back in the past to make your pick when you come here.
Wow.
And that's all the way down to the fact that, like, when you are inside the rick house, it is 95 degrees and you have sweated through everything you're wearing by the time you even get to the barrels. So it's like, be ready to drink this. It's a little bit warm. It's way hotter than you've had a chance to warm up to. And so your palate has to acclimate way quicker. And so what I really liked about the way we tasted through with Lee was, like, if they laid out 4 barrels, say, we'll do a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll do a second pass at all of them, because whiskey number 1 doesn't necessarily get a fair shake when you are shocking your palate with it as the first sip of the day.
Right.
Yeah, and I also think that they curate very well. And so when you do this selection, there are barrels sitting out waiting for you, and they have curated those barrels already. They've taken them from their various warehouses and brought them there for you with you in mind. And I think that they've done that exceptionally well. I do think there's actually a very long list of brands that do that well, but as Bob mentioned, like, it is very lo-fi, and so you don't expect, like, as you're walking in, you're like, I don't expect much, but also there's such a large curation that occurs before we get to that barrel, that it allows you to just be comfortable, spend the time. If you need an extra pour, you get that extra pour, and you can argue about your barrels as much as you want.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's real big on the arguing.
I am. No, I that's why
He's
actually
all about it.
that's why I always pick by committee. Like, I never want to go on a pick where it is just me. And I know that sometimes, like, I get samples sent to me. I will call my trusted whiskey buying friends in Dallas and say, hey guys, I need you to come over, or let's go over to this guy's house so that we can pick X brand. And I just think that by committee, it is way more fun. And when it's more fun, it's less cerebral. I think when it's just me, I get so in my head about, like, oh, nuance and this and that. But when you're with friends, or when people can point out things that just throw you off from, like, oh, I wasn't even thinking that, it really helps you pick a more dynamic pick and something that's going to be better for more consumers.
Next time, if you get stuck, you can call me and we can argue,
Perfect.
even if I haven't tried it.
Great.
And I will help you through your process.
Great.
Guys, normally I wouldn't recommend, or I wouldn't, like, immediately jump to how would this work as a mixer, because this is so good on its own. But
yes,
once again, the fat guy in me is thinking towards Christmas, and I'm like, man, would this mix really well with some eggnog? Because it's got, like,
glad you said that.
every single baking spice inside of it that you want. And just to pair it with that little bit of like fatty flabbiness of the eggnog, man, I think this would make a fantastic
just a little
eggnog.
microplane fresh nutmeg on top, man. This would be money.
Yeah, dude.
I was thinking the same thing maybe 5 minutes ago, and I was like, I shouldn't bring that up.
Yeah.
Glad you did.
All right, so
I could feel it emanating off of you. I was like, this guy gives me an eggnog vibe.
I'm
picking up on
radiating
something.
eggnog so bad right now.
all right, let's get into that a little bit more. Like pairings. What would you drink? Or sorry, not drink with this whiskey. You're drinking the whiskey. What would you eat with this whiskey?
I got mine.
I got mine.
All right, go Joe. Get in there.
I got the vision already. Okay. It's Christmas morning, right? The bacon is cooking. It's in the oven, right? Cook it up. You give me that with a biscuit and an egg, like a little sandwich. I want to pour and a little sip of this right after. I feel like this is going to pair so well with like a fatty kind of bacon. That's my thing. I don't know. I'm already thinking about it.
Bacon,
and Bob, you said it. Like all the bacon spices and stuff. Man.
That might be the first time I've heard bacon, egg, and cheese for the combo, but okay, I love it. I like the energy.
I would pair this recently. My wife had bought, it's like these fruit jerkies. So they come in like it looks like a Jack Link's beef jerky pack, but it's actually fruit jerky. And there was mango and pineapple. The pineapple is probably too sweet, but the mango had like that. And once you dry a fruit, I think it does take away a little bit of that fresh sweetness. So it is a little bit more earthy to it. I think that something like this that has a lot of that baking spice, the oak, that funk with some nice sweet, fruit jerky. That's what I would pair it with. I think it'd be great, actually.
Yeah, I think for me, the more I drink this, somebody mentioned cherry a little bit ago, and I think the cherry is like a really good unifying note throughout this. So I think there's two ways for me that I would go. One of them would be like a cherry cordial with, like wrapped in chocolate. I think that would pair amazing with this, just the fattiness of the chocolate. But then if you want to go the more fruit candy route, I just had the last little sip in my glass and it hit the back of my palate the same way as like a cherry Jolly Rancher. Ooh. So I think Jolly Ranchers would be a great one with this too.
Yeah.
We are just all over the place.
We are.
That's the movie candy speaking. Yeah.
Jolly Ranchers.
Right. That's exactly what that is.
I love everything about this. I think for me, I was going down the same road as Joe and thinking holidays, how is this going to pair up? And for me, usually it would be brandy, cognac specifically with like a mince pie. I think this alongside a mince pie, it brings in all of the things that are going to elevate the fruits and spices and pastry. And I think that those kind of jive in a way that usually I would go for brandy, but if this bottle can survive that long, we will find out.
Yes.
All right, I'm going dessert round, so I'm going to go pecan pie. So I think some great pecan pie, that sweetness, that nuttiness, match that with this. I think it's going to knock it out of the park.
He does mean pecan for everybody else who doesn't understand that.
Pecan.
I come from LA. It's pecan.
I think I'm the only one who says that.
I probably say the worst.
The pecan.
From the South, man, they got all kind of different stuff the way they say things down here. But
also for Christmas, we only eat tamales, so it would go with maybe my pork tamale.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like how this game has just evolved into how many different Christmas foods can we pair this with?
I mean, might as well.
Figgy pudding.
Yeah, right.
Partridge in a pear tree. Like we'll go down the list, you know?
I'm tagging all you guys on Instagram Christmas morning when I'm making that bacon, egg, and cheese, John. You're gonna see it. It's gonna be. You guys are gonna get all tagged. And I'm gonna say Merry Christmas.
If I don't get bacon, egg, and cheese DMs, I'm freaking out.
Well, this is a really, really good one. And Lee, do you want to talk about some of the things that we have kind of planned in the future? Anything that we can say?
Woo. Okay, so I mean, we're gonna go for the things from the vault and the new. So we're going all over the place over the next few months. We sometimes get a few extra cases of things that we didn't even know we had still. So we're going to be digging into that in December with a really great brand that everyone will love. Kanan, if you want to share what the brand is, you can, but I think we should stop there. And then we're gonna go like super new. So one of the favorites of whiskey right now in single barrels, and I will share this one. So we're gonna go rare character in January.
Boom.
And we have a great rare character single barrel bourbon, Kentucky 7.5 year, that is just gonna knock your socks off. So we actually just picked that a few weeks ago. Kanan and I got those samples. Man, that thing is great. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have some fun with that. And then we have a lineup actually now scheduled through April of next year. And so, man, it's just gonna be some fun times.
Yeah. Really looking forward to it. Thank you again to Bob. I really appreciate you coming on tonight, being a special guest, picking a killer barrel, I should say. This was fun. This was a really good one. I was really looking forward to this one. I'm really glad that we kind of get to end the year on this one. And yeah, make sure we're starting fresh next month. It's going to be a good one and continuing into 2026. I'm really excited to keep it going, gentlemen. As always, thank you guys so much for being here tonight and joining me.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.